and welcome to another inside look at the ASUP family. Today is going to be a special edition, a new segment I'd like to call Profiles. In Profiles, what I'm going to do is actually talk to different ASUP members and find out what got them interested in the paranormal in the first place. First edition of the Profile series is actually going to be done on me and my first experience with paranormal and what got me into or interested in the paranormal world. I was originally born in Fort Worth, Texas. My father was a military man, so we moved from Fort Worth to Germany, to Georgia, to New Mexico. I spent a little bit of time, all over the country. But where I had my first experience with paranormal was when I was about 7 years old. We lived in Fort Worth, and because we moved back to Fort Worth after my dad had been around several places, we moved back to Fort Worth, and unfortunately, one of my cousin's wives passed away, and my sister. You'll see her profile later. I'll make her do one. My sister decided it'd be a good idea to get a Ouija board. And after this experience with Ouija boards, I highly recommend nobody buy one. No one ever use one because they're very scary things. So my sister got this Ouija board trying to connect with this my cousin's wife that had passed away. And when she first started using it, we thought we had contacted that person. And, little key hints here and there, because this particular person loved to chase my sister's dog around the room. And anytime anything would start happening on the Ouija board, Fluffy was my sister's little dog, would go running around the room. Okay. After a while, things started getting a little weird. My sister would try and go on the Ouija board, start asking questions, and then the board would fly across the room. At one point, her and my brother were on the board, and they were playing by candlelight because, got to make everything spooky. And the flames on the candles flared up from about this big to about this big. And other than that, lights flickering on and off throughout the house. My brother actually woke up on the couch one time, felt like he was being choked. And all this was stuff that I was witnessing throughout the house. But my first, hardcore, this is something, was when I recorded my first EVP. So I had a little Casio keyboard. And in the corner of the Casio, there was a microphone with a button you hit, and it records for 30 seconds. I hit the sampling button, tapped on the microphone 3 times, and when I played it back, I got what was a growling sound. And I didn't know, at the time, but I was thinking, hey, that could have been anything. So I told everybody in the house, and there was my sister, my brother, my sister's boyfriend, gentleman by the name of Neil, and me. And I was telling everybody, hey, be quiet, come in here. And they're all kind of curious as to what's going on, so everybody stops what they're doing and walks in there. And I'm actually sitting in the dining room facing towards, it was one of those bifold doors with the washer dryer behind it, so kind of the wash area. And I'm sitting on the dining room table, and I do the same thing again. I hit the sampling button, tap on the microphone 3 times, and what starts off as a growling sound changes into a monstrous voice of just. I gotta try and edit myself as best as I can because what it actually said was the F word, you kneel. So it pretty much told my sister's boyfriend, you. At that point, like I said, I was 7, 8 years old. I freaked out. I threw the keyboard down. I said, we're gone. And I went outside and played until mom and dad got home because whenever mom and dad were home, it never seemed like anything was going on. A couple of days later, we decide that we're going to get rid of that Ouija board. And my dad had an old cast iron grill out in the backyard, and we took the top off of it. Yeah, this is back in the 80s, y'all, when kids could get away with a lot more stuff and nobody ever asked questions. Um, so we took that grill, the lid off the grill, set it down. We put the board in there, and we poured gasoline over it, and we set it on fire. And we're sitting there just all kind of watching, and we're like, oh, this is gonna be over with. As soon as this board gets burnt, we're done with it. The fire eventually went out, and we walked over, and the board was still solid. Like you could still knock on it. Like it was still, and the top part, the sticker part that goes on top of the board, it actually burnt around 2 pictures. It was a picture of a lady and a picture of the moon. And, we're thinking, okay, maybe we didn't do something right. So we put the board and just those 2 pictures back in the lid, poured more gasoline on it, let it soak for a little bit, and then went back and lit again. Um, Nothing happened. The gasoline burned off, but the board was still as solid as when we had it the first time. So at that point, we threw it away, and not very much longer, we actually moved away from that home to another house. Um, During the whole time playing with the Ouija board, we did get a name, and to this day, I still don't like saying the name out loud because I'm afraid of what might actually happen. Almost like calling this entity, which the only way to describe it was a demon. That was it. Was just yeah, it had to have been a demon. So fast forward about several years, I was about 15 or 16 years old, and I was dating a girl, and she really, really wanted a Ouija board, and I was completely against it. But she was dead set on wanting a Ouija board for her birthday. We're having her birthday at like a community room for a apartment complex, kind of like the pool room or whatever. And for her birthday, I gave it to her, and she decided to break it out at the party. I was not too excited about that. Uh, but she started asking questions, and of course, we start hearing sounds in the background and everything, and everybody's getting freaked out, 15, 16-year-old kids. And at one point, she asked her, are you here to protect me? And it said yes. And she asked, who are you here to protect? And it spelled out her name, and she, got all crazy and everything. Uh, but an old feeling had settled in with me. Something, that I remembered but I couldn't shake this feeling. So she got all heebie-jeebied and walked away from it, and I sat down and I put my hands on the little planchette and it started moving, and I asked, "Are you lying?" And it moved to yes. I said, "Are you who I think you are?" And it moved to yes. And I said goodbye. That was the last time I've messed with the Ouija board, and it seems like almost seems like he still follows me sometimes. I haven't felt his presence in a long time, but it, it's definitely something that sticks with you. Now, fast forward several more years and dating a new girl, current girlfriend who's actually part of ASUP too, and if I can convince her, she'll be doing a profile as well. Uh, we're living in this current apartment that we're living in, and I was talking to her out on our back patio about some of the paranormal stuff that I've gotten into or I've witnessed, and she was kind of intrigued by it, and we're sitting there talking, and lo and behold, our neighbor upstairs leans over. She, "Are y'all talking about paranormal?" Yeah. And our neighbor upstairs was actually Janie, who hopefully I'll be able to get her to get a profile video. She does a lot of work though. Um, and she was already a member of ASUP, been a member of ASUP for a couple of years. And she's like, "What if I told y'all I was a paranormal investigator?" And I was just excited. That was something that I was always curious about doing, always wanted to do. Uh, so that was my introduction to ASIP back in 2012. And since then, I've moved up to tech lead, and now I'm actually manager of technology. And since being a member of ASIP, I've witnessed a lot more things. I've seen shadow figure. I had a shadow figure step right in front of me and turn and walk into a room right next to me. Unfortunately, I was the only one that really witnessed that, in the ASIP group. So in ASIP, we kind of have a rule: if you don't have at least two or more people witness it, or some evidence to back it up, it's it's a nice story. So that one I always remember as a nice story for me. Um, One investigation we went to, we had a lamp in the hallway turn on by itself. I remember that one because we were having issues with the recorder, and we told Bill, who's the director, "Hey, we're having problems with this recorder getting it working." And so he comes up there, and I always had a flashlight in my back pocket, and Bill goes, "Hey, well, let me see your flashlight." And I start to pull my flashlight out, and like right around the same time, the light comes on in the hallway. And Bill's like, "Thank you." And I'm just sitting there kind of in shock. I'm like, "That just happened." And we walked over and investigated the lamp, and it was the old school, in the line. It had that little turn knob. And you actually, I didn't hear it click, but the other people in the group heard it actually click when it came on. So that means something had to twist that in order to get it to come on. Other than recording a bunch of really cool UVPs with ASUP, I've started having some experiences at the apartment. Um, we have a couple of entities that visit us from time to time. Nothing malicious, just kind of a hey, we're still here type entities. Um, we have one that's called the Colonel. The Colonel actually used to live in this apartment. He passed away while he was living here, but not in the house when he passed away. He used to smoke in the apartment. Me and my girlfriend, we never smoked in our apartment. So every now and then you'll be sitting on the couch or walking through the hallway, and you get a smell of a fresh cigarette just lighting up. And Drea's gotten in the habit to whenever she smells it, she just says, "No, Colonel, not in the house," and it goes away. We've had another entity that me and Drea came home. I went out onto the back porch to go smoke a cigarette. That was back when I was smoking. And she went back to our bedroom to get something. And the way our apartment is set up is I can see our kitchen from our back patio. And I was watching the entrance to the kitchen. I saw Drea walk into the kitchen. I'm like, okay, maybe she's thirsty or something. And while watching the entrance to the kitchen, like 2 seconds later, Drea comes walking out of the sliding glass door to our bedroom onto the back porch. And I kind of looked at her. I said, "You were in the kitchen." She goes, "No, I wasn't." I said, "Yeah, you just went into the kitchen." "No, I didn't." So I handed her my cigarette and I came walking in to investigate. And yeah, sure enough, there was nothing in the kitchen. So yeah, it's definitely had several experiences once I've been with ASUP, and as far as I'm concerned, they've all been great experiences, and I kind of like the on edge of possibly getting scared. I will say this one thing though, ASUP, being a family member of ASUP, it's kind of, I'd say, numb me a little bit to. I used to love going to haunted houses and getting scared. Now I can walk through a haunted house and I'm like, yeah, okay, okay, good job there. Nice work over there. And it doesn't even phase me anymore. Um, but yeah, I wouldn't trade being with ASUP for anything. So that was the first edition of our profile series. I will be doing more of those videos. I'll also be doing more technology videos where I go over some of our equipment. And of course, we still have our live feeds that we'll be doing from time to time. If you want to be kept up to date on those, hit the subscribe button and we'll notify you anytime we got a new video coming out. Also, if you like this video, please hit the like button below or leave a comment. Give me some suggestions. I'm always open to suggestions. You can also feel free to visit our website at asupinc.org if you feel like donating, maybe joining us, or if you got something going on at your house and you want us to stop by and check it out, visit our website. Thank you guys.